Let me ask you a question. Did you brush your teeth this morning? Did you ever go to the doctor when you're sick? Did you ever go to school and learn something? Did you ever spend time with someone because you valued their relationship? You know what all these things are? They're types of investments. You might not think of them as investments. You might think investments are reserved for billionaires on Wall Street. But the truth is, you are already an investor. Every day you do something today so you can benefit tomorrow. The only difference is you haven't learned to apply the same thinking, the same strategies to your money. And the reason you haven't, it's not because you're not smart, it's not because you're not capable, it's because fear and anxiety are whispering in your ear, investing is risky, investing is complicated, investing is not for people like you. But here's what I want you to know today. The fear is lying to you. The anxiety is keeping you trapped. And the moment you see how investing really works and how you are already doing it in your life, everything starts to change. So that's what we're going to talk about today in this video. You might be thinking, what's the difference between fear and anxiety? They feel exactly the same to me. And you're right, they do the same things in your body. Your heart races, your palms are sweaty, and your head starts spinning. But let's have a look at the difference between fear and anxiety. So fear is the response to a real and present danger. So fear is a response to a real and present danger. When a lion or a bear or a tiger come into a room, you react. You are scared for your life because there's a potential that that animal can hurt you or harm you or even kill you. When a car swerves into your lane, you respond because it's real and present. You react instantly and your brain says, what's happening right now? This is how we need to respond. However, the difference between fear and anxiety is the response to a future imagined danger. So that's the difference about fear and anxiety. It's a bit not what's happening right now, it's about what might happen. It's a made up future. And you're lying in your bed thinking, what if I invest? What if I lose everything? What if I made a mistake and I mess up in the future? What if I'm not smart enough? What if I can't talk to this person and build that relationship? That's not fear, that's anxiety. And that feels very similar in your body, but it's actually different. It's your imagination rehearsing disasters that haven't even occurred. They may never occur. Now, you don't get me wrong, your anxiety is trying to protect you, it's trying to guide you, but if you let it take the wheel, it'll drive you nowhere except stuck. Because most of what's stopping you from investing isn't a threat, it's an imagined one. It's a made up one. Anything you tell yourself about the future, you're lying. You've made it up. You don't know. When you say, I'm going home, you're saying, actually what you're saying is, I intend to go home. That's my purpose, right? But when we think about bigger things, we don't say it with that much certainty. When you say, I'm going home, you're certain. It's not potentially true. You might get hit by a bus, but you say it with certainty. But when it comes to investing, when it comes to bigger things in our life, we say it with not as much certainty. You know what's interesting? People tell me all the time, I'm not just someone who thinks ahead, I live for today. I live in the moment. Don't worry about tomorrow, I can just worry about today. But if you think about it for a second, have you ever brushed your teeth? This is planning for tomorrow. You don't just brush your teeth to look good in the mirror for 5 minutes. You brush your teeth because you think, well, tomorrow, 10 years from now, I want to have healthy dental hygiene. I want my mouth to look good. I don't want to have holes in my teeth. If you ever went to school, you spent time learning something for tomorrow. You don't start at kindergarten and get all the way through to high school without thinking about your future. You don't learn to read in one day. It's over time you build the skills to learn how to read. So don't tell yourself that you're not someone that prepares, that you don't think about tomorrow, you don't invest for tomorrow. You're already an investor in so many parts of your life, in your health, your wealth, your finances can include that, your education, your friendships. The only difference is now you need to apply that same thinking, those same principles to your money. So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit more. Now let's talk about something nobody tells you. Let's talk about something that nobody really talks about. Not doing anything. The cost of not investing. The cost of doing nothing. Or the cost of not investing. Now, if you think I'll just stick my money in the bank, inflation's going to eat it alive. You might think I'm getting, these days, 4, 5, 6% interest, but you're going to have to pay tax on that, and then inflation is going to eat up all your savings. And then what's your plan? Is you work for 40 years so that you can retire, live on less than you were making, and not be able to enjoy it? Here's the truth. Inflation is eating your money alive. Every single day, every single year, your dollar is working. You're working hard for your dollars, but they're becoming less and less. The price of groceries is going up. The price of fuel is going up. The price of rent is going up. Everything's going up. It's shrinking the money you have. So think about protecting yourself. But you're not actually losing purchasing power every single day you wait. And let's talk about this idea that you just work for 40 years, save a little bit here, save a little bit there, and hope everything works out. And most people spend decades working at a job they don't really love, just to retire and make less than they earned and live it below their means. It was never meant like that. Do you want to just depend on the government for a pension, a payout, so you can just barely pay your bills? That's not a way to live. So you need to, by not planning, by not investing, the cost of doing nothing. What is it costing you? What are you not thinking about? And that's what I'm telling you. Not investing is not neutral. It's the riskiest choice you can ever make. Let me remind you of something that you may have forgotten. When you landed here on Earth, when you arrived through your parents, you didn't know anything. You couldn't walk, you couldn't talk, you couldn't read, you couldn't ride a bike, you couldn't brush your teeth. And if you take account of all the things you've learned, you'd be amazed. Things that you had no idea about, concepts that you couldn't even conceive, you've learned, you've understood, and you've mastered. You've learned language, you've learned skills, you've learned relationships. And I love what Myron Golden says. This is how he defines mastery. Mastery is the ability to execute effortlessly without use of conscious resources. How powerful is that? Think about that. Mastery. To execute effortlessly. Can't say that. Think about when you drive your car. When you started, you were like, okay, foot on the accelerator. Here's the brake. 10 and 2. Blinker. Mirror. Car coming here. Car coming there. And now, you just jump in your car, you drive to work. You don't even think about it. Sometimes you think, did I stop at all the red lights? What were the last 3 turns I made? I can't even remember. And that's mastery. That's executing effortlessly without conscious resources. And I'm telling you, that can be how you do your investing. You can learn the skills over time and develop them. Let me ask you another question. Why do we assign a level of difficulty to something that we don't understand and we've never tried? Why do we assume that investing is hard? Investing is difficult. It's something that I can't learn. I can't understand. When you've mastered all these things throughout your life, you've understood them, you've contemplated them, you've pulled them apart and put them back together, and you've learned to master them. So why can't it be the same? Why do you say to yourself, investing is risky, investing is complicated, investing is too hard for me? You didn't know how to walk, but you learned. You didn't know how to read, but you learned. You didn't know how to do so many things, but you've learned them over time. And how do you do it? One small step at a time. And you can learn that about investing, and that can change your future and generations to come. Now that we've dealt with your fear and anxiety and the thought that you can't learn something, let's have a look at what you can actually do to start investing. You don't need $10,000, you don't need to be an expert. All you need to do is choose an area, an investment vehicle that you want to learn about. Read a book, pick one subject, pick a YouTube, pick a podcast, do something, go to a seminar, learn about that thing, whatever it is, property, real estate, shares, EFTs, anything. Just start to learn about it. Start with $5, $10, $50, it doesn't matter. Just start with an amount, because in doing it, you learn it. When you learn to ride a bike, it was in the doing that you learned it. You can't just read a book. When you learn how to drive a car, you read the book, you learned all the rules, but in doing it, in driving, in practicing, you put it into practice, and that's how you learn. Then you put it on automation. There's apps that you can do an autopilot where you just decide, I'm going to use $20 over every pay and put it into an EFT. It's autopilot. You don't have to think about it. Wealth is built by consistency, not by timing the market. Think in the long term. It's not gambling, it's gardening. You don't plant a seed and expect fruit tomorrow. You water it, you cultivate it, you give it time, and over time, you stay patient, and then it grows. If you start today, what can it grow into in 5 years or 10 years? Over those times, you'll get momentum, it'll give you confidence, and you'll learn skills about investing. And here's the beautiful part. You don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to do it intentionally. You just have to give it a go. And that's shift from broke thinking to wealth thinking, generational thinking. That's going to change your life. So let me bring this all together. You've started this video thinking you were someone who didn't know or didn't want to invest. Someone who was too scared, too late, too smart, not smart enough, whatever it is. But now you know the truth. You already know that you can be an investor. You can change your life. You're invested in your health, your relationships, in your learning, and you can use that same mindset, that same principles to learn, the same courage to learn about financial tools, financial investing. You don't have to respond and run away scared. You can apply these same things to your life. But comfort zones don't create freedom. Comfort zones don't build wealth. Comfort zones don't secure your future. Today is your day. You can do it. Not someday when, not tomorrow. You can start today. So here's what I want you to do right now. Pick an investment vehicle, one you like, and start learning about it. My advice would be, don't invest in anything that you don't understand. Learn it, understand it, but don't let fear hold you back. I want you to invest and grow and think about your future. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, tell me your thoughts, and I can't wait to see you on the next video.